Lost stories and forgotten memories, and a manhunt for a missing person who may have never existed to begin with. I'm your host. You can call me the Lone Transmitter. And coming to you live from Yellowbrook City, you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio. Has anyone else noticed that Weatherbot 95 has had a bit of a spring in his step these days? I'm serious. The end cap to his right leg fell off, and now one of his springs is sticking right out. Nothing like walking around with your parts showing all the time. It's embarrassing, especially when you're on your first date. Well, first date with a human. But he didn't seem to care at all, and I'm super proud of him. I love seeing him grow. He started out as a tiny robot who just wanted to expand his programming. And now look at him. The little guy is thriving. It does sound a little like science fiction, I'll give you that, but I'm a cyborg, my best friend is a robot, and he has multiple girlfriends, both human, mutant, and machine. I don't know what to tell you. So this is a little embarrassing. I kind of ran out of hard drive space again. For those of you who don't know, I have to store my extra memories in my implant, and sometimes I just need more space. It happens to everybody. But, okay, not everybody. It happens to people with cybernetic implants that attach directly to their brain. Not everybody, but you understand what I mean. So I had to make an emergency trip to my backup unit, and like I said before, it's a little hard to get to. Now, there are a ton of places to store your memories out there in the Radlands, but I don't trust everybody. And this is my brain and my memories we're talking about here. It's important. Most memory backup facilities are just trying to get by like anyone else, but once in a while you'll find one that wants to wipe your mind clean so they can use it for themselves. I don't love that. Now, you have a couple of options for memory storage. You've got some family-operated places like the Brain Farm. They do a pretty good job. My only real concern working with them is that they also work with sheep and cows and pigs, so I don't know. I'm not really sure how I would feel if my memories were uploaded to a pig's brain. I do know that they've done it on purpose a couple of times, and it's been moderately successful, but I guess that just comes down to how you define success. I haven't actually asked how they got the memories of a human to successfully implant in an animal's body, but I don't really need to know that, I think. And before the conspiracy theories start coming in, no, they're not trying to make super intelligent bovine creatures. I promise that's not what they're up to. I don't go to the Brain Farm anyway. They're a good, reputable company, and they're family run, but they're just not for me. They're not what I need. Of course, you can also go to the Brain Trust. They are a pretty reputable company, but they do have a weird interest policy. You see, they'll save all of your memories, no big deal, but for some reason they pay extra attention to memories that they find personally interesting. And I would prefer them to not actually look at my memories because I am kind of a private person. I know that might be a bit of a surprise considering I have a radio show and I just talk to you about my life all the time, but I don't tell you everything, and I don't want these people at the Brain Trust to know my deepest, darkest secrets that I would like to remember but just don't have room for, you know? So instead of risking my memories to them, I go to a place called the Memory Dump. Do you have a lot of memories bogging down your hard drive? Are you having trouble keeping up with today's demanding information economy? Maybe it's time for you to try the Memory Dump. Located in the heart of the Taconic Forest, the Memory Dump is your final destination for unwanted memories and external backup services. They employ the best security team in the Radlands and utilize redundant power systems for all of their facilities. And if you have a Memory Dump Plus account, they can keep your physical backups in one of those ruggedized IBM laptops from before the Great Devastation. Made to withstand a nuclear blast, they're like the cockroaches of computing. I don't love that. They store all of their computers and hard drives inside a Faraday cage for an extra layer of protection. You can even load your brain files onto a portable memory card and drop it off at the headquarters in the middle of the bandit-ridden and slightly irradiated Taconic Forest. The memory dump. We'll never forget you. But you might. Like I said before, it does take a little while to get out to the memory dump. It's a huge hike. You've got to get past the robot graveyard, which is getting bigger every day. You've got to go through most of the Taconic Forest, and then you might get there, but you might also get lost. I didn't get lost. I've been wandering the Radlands for a really long time, and I tend to know my way around, even with a broken compass. Of course, with Earth's magnetic field all out of whack, compasses haven't worked correctly for a long time. So I wanted to hurry back because I really don't like leaving the studio alone for so long, and Weatherbot 95 hasn't been home, so it's just me. And I didn't want to get caught in the... Yep, there it is. Yeah, I saw the storm coming from the road. It's a big one, but don't worry, this storm isn't all that radioactive. It's just your basic, good old-fashioned thunderstorm. It's about time, too. We needed it. So, no, I wasn't in danger or anything, but I just didn't want to get wet, okay? My implant is waterproof now, but that wasn't always the case, and sometimes I still get a little worried, but I probably, don't have to be so anxious about it. Alright, we've got a couple of emails, so I'm just going to knock these out quick. Alright. Oh, great. Here's one from Anime Fan 29. Why are you called the Lone Transmitter anyway? You've always got your little robot buddy around. Alright, fine. But look, man, I don't know where this attitude is coming from, but it's just my screen name, okay? And if you're really salty about someone making friends when the world is in this sorry state, I don't know what to tell you. Just calm down, okay? And here's one from the memory dump. Backup confirmed, here's your receipt. Awesome, that was quick. And here's an email from Weatherbot 95. Looks like it's today's forecast, and he says, it's raining. Thanks, Weatherbot 95. What would we do without you? He's been a little preoccupied lately. It's okay. And here's an email from local authorities. Let's see what insanity they have for me today. Have you seen this person? And they forgot to attach an image, so it's safe to say that no, I have not seen this person. And I'm willing to bet a whole case of green iridescent liquid that no one else has either. I imagine whoever they're looking for is going to get away pretty easily. And speaking of local authorities, they were so absolutely thrilled that Yellowbrook native Danny Sixfingers recently returned to Yellowbrook City with a brand new set of normal five-fingered hands that they decided to, quote, organize a celebration for him. That's local authorities' version of throwing a party. Of course, the last celebration they organized, we ended up with a birthday party for a meteorite that had fallen in the Taconic Forest. Local authorities refrained from choosing a name for the one-year-old natural disaster, choosing instead to allow the meteorite to choose its own name for itself when it comes of age. They, of course, insisted the meteor had just turned 1, but I'm certain it was more along the lines of 4.5 billion years old, give or take a few. Of course, its name and gender are still a source of confusion to everyone around, and local authorities declined to comment. And speaking of names, Danny Sixfingers hasn't made up his mind about what we should be calling him now, and I get it. He's been Danny Sixfingers for so long, it's kind of hard to stop saying it. Now, the only weird thing about Danny Sixfingers coming home is that now he vapes, which is, whatever, but he hasn't taken his gloves off yet. So I don't know if he's ashamed of his normal five-fingered hands or what, but he's got to know that we're a pretty accepting and loving culture here in Yellowbrook City. We are, mostly nice people. The local authorities might change their mind about how great it is to have him home if they discover that he's a mutant or something, but he was a mutant before, so he's probably still a mutant now. It really doesn't matter what he looks like. It has more to do with what his genetic code looks like. But I'm not a scientist. I don't really know how to talk about this kind of stuff. Well, I hope he knows he can talk to me if he needs to. That's what's important, right? He's got friends. Whenever I'm out in the Radlands, I always travel with a destination in mind. I don't just wander about aimlessly. There are lone wanderers, of course, and they seem to make it work just fine, but that just doesn't sound safe, wandering on your own like that. Don't get me wrong, I've certainly done it. Like when I first set out on my own, I had no idea where I was going. I just needed to spend some time on my own. You would think after growing up in a mineshaft turned underground city with your dad, your other dad, your stepdad, and your stepmom, solitude among the ruins of the world is exactly the kind of solace one might be looking for. But as it turns out, solitude can get old pretty fast. So it's best to travel with a game plan. That way, if you get lost, die, or get kidnapped by a group of flesh-hungry cannibals, you at least have a few people who know where you were originally headed. And if they have the means to go for it, they might come looking for you when you don't come home on time. That is, of course, unless they are too busy playing Super Smack Sisters with their new human girlfriend, but that's understandable, I guess. And as much as I like sticking to my travel plans, I do have a tendency to get a little distracted. For example, on my last trip out to the memory dump, I took a minor detour and I figured I'd check on one of my old haunts, the abandoned water park. I was planning on grabbing some more of the water purification tabs and storage there. You know, they might be expired, but they're better than nothing. But when I got there, it was just gone. Not the water purification tabs, and not the storage shed. The entire water park was gone. Nothing left but a leveled out sand pit, and it looked like a couple of roach wasps had made it their home, so I kept my distance. My fellow Radlanders, I have no idea how an entire water park full of slides, lazy rivers, and something called a human shark tank just goes missing like that. But the last time I was there, I ran into my devious, deceitful, criminal mastermind of a stepmother, the Duchess. I had assumed she was casing the joint, but I expected her to just take some of the salvage there and be gone. But no, she found a way to steal the entire water park. Or at least, that's my guess. And of course, I say steal because every scavenger knows to leave some for the rest of us. But she took everything. The Duchess might be family, but she's not living by the code, and that's bad news for all of us. So the Duchess might have kind of ruined my trip a little bit, but it's not all bad news, because when I came through the robot graveyard, I saw a package sitting in my dead drop spot, and that means the courier has something for me. Now, I can usually find whatever I need out there in the Radlands, and anything I can't find, Max the Millions can find for me. But the courier goes places that I've never heard of, and they send me some pretty cool stuff once in a while. Let's see what we got. So it doesn't look like there's a return address on any of these, and I guess that kind of makes sense. The courier said they tend to keep the privacy of their customers. But if there's no return address, that means that if this gets lost somewhere... Oh my god, I'm not saying that the courier is irresponsible and that they lose packages. That's not what I'm saying at all. I have no evidence to support something like that. But if something gets lost and there's no return address, that means it's just there for the taking for any scavengers out there. I guess that's good news for people like me and Max, but that's also good news for people like the Duchess. And I don't want to reinforce the bad habits that my stepmom has. You understand. Alright, so there are 5 data tapes in this box, but only one of them is labeled, so I'm going to put that one in to the retro resequencer now, and we will see what we have. Well, this package isn't from the courier, they just delivered it, but they did write me a note, and it says, "Please read this aloud. This parcel contains a recording, a forgotten song, and a forgotten story. Sorry, I guess I must have missed you. My client also packed some coffee. He knows it's your favorite brew." Nice. I'm not running out of coffee anytime soon, but I am not gonna complain if I have extra. Well, the retro resequencer is already done processing this data tape, so... Taking you out today is another band from before the Great Devastation. They're called The Times, and this is their song, Slow Wave. I'm the lone transmitter, and you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio, your only source for news at the end of the end times. Hey Radlanders, thank you so much for listening to episode 9 of Wasteland Free Radio. We've got another episode coming out next month, and if you stick around after these credits, you can hear a sneak peek of what we have offered up on our Patreon. You can check us out at patreon.com/wastelandfreeradio. You can follow us for free, or you can become a supporter, whatever you'd like to do. And if you are a musician or you play in a band and you want your music featured on this show, please send us an email at wastelandfreeradio@gmail.com. I would be so happy to get your music onto the show. Today's retro resequencer was The Tines with their song Slow Wave. You can follow them on Instagram, you can support them on Bandcamp, and you can stream their stuff on Spotify. I will have some links in the show notes. Our intro, outro, and background music are all by 11D7, and you can follow them on Instagram. You can find them on Spotify and Bandcamp. Please support these musicians. That's one of the reasons I like doing this show. I get to just showcase cool music and help my friends out. You can follow us on Instagram at Wasteland Free Radio. You can follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/wastelandfreeradio. And please send us some reviews and ratings on Spotify and the Apple Podcasts app. It'll help us out a lot. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. And remember to check the expiration dates on all of your canned food and dry stock products, because you never know when those things will actually go bad. And I've said it before, botulism is no joke. Alright, I've been chained up in the basement here for too long. I actually don't know how long I've been here, but now I'm getting really hungry. I didn't bring any extra food with me. I wasn't anticipating being stuck anywhere, and I can usually find something to forage while I'm out in the Radlands. I definitely know that I'm not alone down here, though. I can hear somebody moving in another room down here, and I can hear them talking once in a while, but I can't make out what they're saying. I can't tell if they're talking to me or themselves or somebody else. Honestly, I don't know if they're talking. It just sounds like noises, like vocalizations. I'm not really sure what's going on or who that person is, but I figure maybe if I can get out of here, they might be able to help. I wonder if he'd be up for an interview. Maybe they can help me find some food. My eyes have adjusted and I can see a little better, but so far I just see a bunch of wooden crates covered in knives. Not great.
I hope you're hungry.
Yeah, I am hungry. Are you asking me that question?
You can't find me.
Yeah, I can't find you. I can't move. I don't know if you can toss me something, but if you have some food over there that doesn't taste or smell like this place, can you send it over to me? I don't know who you are, but I could really use a friend right now. Do you know if there's a way out of here? Hello?
Oh, just wait until you see what I have for dessert.
Okay, the other guy's clearly on his own page. I don't think he can understand me. Maybe he can't hear me. I don't know if he's talking to me anyway. I want to go. I think I could probably use the short circuit in my implant to generate enough heat to break through these chains. Just lean forward and see if I can reach. There we go. Well, that was easy.
What? I didn't say you could leave.
Okay, that is much less innocuous, and I think he's the guy who put me down here. Okay, no. I put myself down here. He's the guy that put me in chains without my consent, and that is not cool. I might be able to slip by him. Okay, he's coming this way, and oh my god, he's terrifying. Oh my god, and that's where that smell is coming from. Okay. I'm not very good at thinking on my feet. I gotta get out of here. Hey, do you think we could talk about this? What's your name? You can call me the lone transmitter, and...
Are you ready to disappear?
Okay, I can tell you're not going to be swayed with talk. How about... It would be a real shame if you were to eat me without my being properly cooked. You see, human cyborgs like myself have these little components that are just, really tough, and you can't really eat them if you... Oh my god, look over there! Is that Kevin Costner? Okay, time to go.
Yeah,